to make it tight. Okay, it's okay. Mridanga? Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we will sing a simple bhajan first before we read up from Bhagavad Gita. So let's sing. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Vanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Vanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Hare Krishna. So today we will be reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 8, verse number 26. How many devotees cannot understand English? Is there anyone who cannot understand English? All understand English? Okay. Question passed? Okay, Hari Bol. Okay. So first we will recite invocation. Kindly repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. So kindly let's recite the verse. Śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte.
śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte.
Jagataḥ śāśvate mate.
Jagataḥ śāśvate mate.
Ekayā yāty anāvṛttim.
Ekayā yāty anāvṛttim.
Anyayāvartate punaḥ.
Anyayāvartate punaḥ.
śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte.
śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte.
Jagataḥ śāśvate mate.
Jagataḥ śāśvate mate.
ekayā yāty anāvṛttim.
Ekayā yāty anāvṛttim.
anyayāvartate punaḥ.
anyayāvartate punaḥ.
śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte.
śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte.
jagataḥ śāśvate mate.
jagataḥ śāśvate mate.
ekayā yāty anāvṛttim.
ekayā yāty anāvṛttim.
anyayāvartate punaḥ.
anyayāvartate punaḥ.
Some devotee like to recite?
śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte.
śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte.
jagataḥ śāśvate mate.
jagataḥ śāśvate mate.
ekayāti anāvṛttim.
ekayā yāty anāvṛttim.
anyayāvartate punaḥ.
anyayāvartate punaḥ. śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte. jagataḥ śāśvate mate. ekayā yāty anāvṛttim. anyayāvartate punaḥ. Mataji's? śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte. jagataḥ śāśvate mate. ekayā yāty anāvṛttim. anyayāvartate punaḥ. Anyone else? Okay. Yeah? śukla-kṛṣṇe gatī yāte. jagataḥ śāśvate mate. ekayā yāty anāvṛttim. anyayāvartate punaḥ. Word to word translation. Shukla, light. Kṛṣṇe, and darkness. Gatī, ways of passing. He, certainly. Yāte, these two. Jagataḥ, of the material world. śāśvate, of the Vedas. Mate, in the opinion. ekayā, by one, yāti, goes, anāvṛttim, to no return, anyayā, by the other, āvartate, comes back, punaḥ, again. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns. Purport. The same description of departure and return is quoted by Ācārya Baladeva Vidyābhūṣaṇa from Chāndogya Upaniṣad, 5th canto, 10th chapter, verse 3 to 5. Those who are fruitive laborers and philosophical speculators from time immemorial are constantly going and coming. Actually, they do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Kṛṣṇa. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-śukla-kṛṣṇe Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadanyakam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Dīnatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyamishwaram Ete cham sakalah pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyari Vyakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mame Veshyasi Kyamte Pratijani Grahosimi. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to all the devotees, well-wishers in ISKCON München, Verein for Vedische Kultur. Hare Krishna. So, first of all, I take blessings, especially from all the senior devotees and all of the well-wishers, that please bless me, that what I speak, I also try to follow. I am a student of Bhagavad Gita. I am not a lecturer of Bhagavad Gita. So, I am also trying to learn Bhagavad Gita. So if you have any comments, feedbacks, please feel free to interrupt me so that I can learn Bhagavad Gita better. Okay? Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from chapter 8 and verse is number 26, where Krishna is describing to Arjuna that according to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world. One in light and the another is in darkness. When one passes in the light, he does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns. So what does it mean? We will discuss passing away in darkness and what does it mean passing away in light. Okay. So many times people ask that Bhagavad Gita was spoken so many years ago. Any guess how many years before Bhagavad Gita was spoken from today? Yes, 5,000 years ago. Hare Krishna. And what was the context? What was happening before which Bhagavad Gita was spoken? A war, yes. So, even 50 years ago, there was World War I, World War II, right? How many of us really care what was spoken between the political leaders in those times? How many of us try to revise that? None of us, right? I mean, maybe when we were a student in our history class, that time we might have remembered something and written the answer. But today, how many of us care? Yeah. Or even 5 years ago, there was a war. There started a war between Russia and Ukraine. Yeah. So 5 years ago, what was spoken? How many of us really today like to revive? None of us, right? Then something which was spoken 5,000 years ago, how does it matter to me today? Someone may ask, right? So, what is the answer? Anyone has answer? New people, they can tell why even after 5,000 years, Bhagavad Gita is relevant to me. Any guess? Why? Yes, it is spoken by Krishna himself. Brilliant, of course. What else?
It is the way of living, not anything that you need to follow.
Yes, but if you see this verse, Krishna is not telling the way of living. What he's saying, the way of dying, right? Yes, yes, it is a way of living also. Yes, you are right. Brilliant. Any more guesses? Any guess? Okay, yes. So, Bhagavad Gita, many times we understand. Yes, Mataji, you want to say something?
I was think also it's give to us opinion on how to live.
Yes.
Not just live, but
Yeah.
live.
Live.
Because Krishna put in our centrum.
Yes. Yes. Brilliant. Yes, all these reasons are there. That is true. So why, how to live? Why this question is relevant to us? Because it is hampering one's freedom, right? Then someone may say, I will live how I want. Yeah. Why I should worry what 5,000 years ago something was spoken? Why it should matter to me today, right? So let's discuss about this. Why it is relevant today? So Bhagavad Gita is a solution. All of us agree, right? So solution means there will be some problems also. For example, many times college students they write thesis. Is there anyone who has written thesis in the college? You no? Really? Okay. 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 If you are in college, you will remember you would have written some thesis. So thesis or okay, you will be writing some answers or solutions to some question, right? So if there is some solution, some answer, that means there should be some question also, right? So what is the question which Bhagavad Gita address? We should try to focus on it. Okay. So Krishna describes there are four kinds of sub problems which are there. Together of them, they constitute one problem. Okay. So we'll discuss these four sub problems. Anyone knows what are the sub four problems which are common to all of us? Yes. First is birth. Yeah. All of us are born. Yeah. Is there anyone without birthday? Only Geburtstag? If you don't trust me, you can look into your passports or your government identity card. You will find birthday, yeah, your name when you were born. All these things will be written. Birth is not a easy process. Many times we think birth is very easy, but let's analyze birth. Birth is a very difficult thing. How many months the child stay in the womb of the mother? 9 months in human beings, yeah. And 9 months inside, it doesn't have access to telephone or mobile phone, so it cannot look what's the message, what is going on in social media. Only darkness is there, right? And we live in our apartments. We have separate rooms for separate activities, right? For example, we have kitchen to cook food and eat. We have drawing room to do recreation. We have toilet for excretion. We have sleeping room for taking rest. But the child, everything happens in the same place for the 9 months. It never happens that the child has different rooms, drawing room, sleeping room inside the womb. It never happens. Everything happens at the same place. And the food also, the child, it cannot eat what it likes. What it eats, whatever the mother eats, half digested. Yeah. Imagine 9 months if someone closes us in one room a pipe from which half digested food is coming, no mobile phone, no internet, no television, no Netflix, what will be our situation? How many of us can really survive even 1 week without mobile phones? How many of you can think? It's hard to believe, right? But the child has to go through that. And even after 9 months, from a very small cervical opening, the child has to come out. So much labor pain happens to the mother. Those who are mother, they can understand really what it is. And then the child comes out, and from such small hole it comes out, cervical opening, and 100% it is not guaranteed that he will live. Many times there is premature birth, right? Or sometimes some emergency comes. And when the child is born, what is the first thing the child does? Cry. If it doesn't cry, that means something really critical, right? And this is in human beings. In other species, the birth is although more difficult because there are much more danger compared to human beings. For example, when the child is born in human beings, there are lot of system to protect the child, right? Hospital is there, or other animals should not attack, so therefore a proper society is there, right? But in animals, it doesn't happen like that. For example, many times I have seen a deer gives birth to the calf deer, yeah? And suddenly some pack of carnivorous animals smell that a small child is coming out, and they attack. And then what the mother does? It has to run away, to save its life. And then the child is caught up, and immediately after birth, someone is making feast out of it. It happens. If you watch some documentaries, how it goes in jungle, then we will see that. Or in the body of birds, we see the birth of birds take place from how it takes place from the egg. But the egg doesn't have a deterministic future, right? We never know if it will be eaten by someone or if really the bird will be born. We never know. It's so fragile. If it sometimes fall down, it cracks and the birth is vain. The egg is useless. And so birth is a very painful and, how to say, difficult situation, right? And all of us have gone through it. 5,000 years ago also this problem was there. 500 years ago also this problem was there. And even today this problem is there, right? So birth. Then the second problem, which is common to all of us, is, any guess? Yeah, that is the last fourth sub problem. But before that is disease, Krankheit. Yeah. If you come to Germany, there is an insurance which is compulsory for all of us. How it is called? Krankenversicherung, right? If you don't pay Krankenversicherung, then you will be in trouble if you stay in Germany like that. So why Krankenversicherung is compulsory? Because diseases are going to come to all of us without fail. Somehow or other, some disease will catch someday or other, right? Is there anyone who can say, I never fall sick? I never had any fever. I never had any grippe, Houston, cough. Just 3 years ago, if you remember, we were putting mask, keeping a hygienic distance from others, doing quarantines, putting injections for the Impfung, or how you say, vaccine, co-vaccine. Why? Because there was a famous disease. What was it called? COVID-19, yeah. And there were waves of this disease coming, yeah. And many people were getting infected. Travel ban was there. One cannot go from one place to other, right? So much trouble was there. Many times people come in temple, they are praying very intensely. And sometimes devotees see and they also get confused. We don't pray to the deities. Why he's praying? And when we ask them, sometimes they say, I have only 2 years to live, 3 years to live. That's what the doctor has told. He has told that if the chemotherapy goes fine, then I will survive. Otherwise, maybe 1 year or 2 years. Just 5 years ago, I was very healthy, but suddenly something happened and now I have some disease. Yeah? So the disease can come to anyone at any time. It doesn't wait for anyone. If it has to come, it will come. We never know what disease is going to come. So Krankenversicherung is important, but at the same time, this problem is common to all of us, right? Everyone agrees or not? So 5,000 years ago and even today, this problem is there. Third problem is before death, what comes? Yes, old age. Jara. In Sanskrit, it is called. That's why we pay one more insurance in Germany, which is compulsory. And that is called Renteversicherung. If you are working, you will find you will be paying almost 10% of your salary into Renteversicherung, which will be taking care of us in old age. Yeah. And old age is a very troublesome situation. And actually, all of us, we have some fear of old age. Many times when we go in front of mirror, we try to see how many hairs are black, how many hairs are white, or how many hairs, what is their color, or in some cases, how many hairs are there, yeah, or how many wrinkles are there, right? So we try to see, right? Why? Because we have a fear somewhere that the old age is going to come. And when the old age comes, it's a very difficult situation. Why it's a difficult situation? First of all, many times people independently they cannot do what they want to do. Physical, how to say, shortcomings come. Some critical disease come. Many times old people they cannot walk, they cannot eat on themselves. Sometimes situations happen like this. And then there is a emotional breakdown also which happens because not so much attention comes to an old person when he gets old. Till the time a person is young, everyone is clapping hands. This person is doing so much. The children they are praising their father, mother, or the relatives they are saying, they pay attention. Or politicians they say, oh, this person will come to give vote, so we should give him respect. So, in the young age, everyone gives respect to a person. But when a person gets old, how many of us really visit some old person? Many times we think if I go there and something happens, it will be trouble for me, right? Many times people they leave their old age people, old age parents, in old age home also. Such situations come. So of course, we should be very sensitive to old age people, especially if we have our old aged parents. We should be always very eager to help them because this situation will be coming to us also very sooner or later. Yeah. So 5,000 years ago also this problem was there. For example, in the Mahabharat war, there is a king. Who is the king? Dhritarashtra. And what is his problem? He has become old. So old age was there 5,000 years ago also and even today also. And it is going to come to each of us also without fail. Yeah, if you don't trust me, you can look into your payslip. You are paying without fail Renteversicherung. Yeah, you can find a company Befafa. What it is called? Befafa. Right? So it is going to come. And of course, the final last problem which is imminent in a war is death. Someone will die in war, right? So therefore, Kṛṣṇa is telling about death also. So these four sub problems, Kṛṣṇa describes them as Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Yeah, so these are the four problems which are described in Bhagavad Gita by Kṛṣṇa, and that's why he is speaking it before war, because after war all these things makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so before war only I inform you everything. And then he gives a solution also. So happening of birth, old age, disease and death again and again is called cycle of birth and death. And this is the problem which is common to all of us. And only in human form of life this can be solved. And therefore we see Kṛṣṇa has come. He appeared as a human being, right? He is not human being, but he appeared as a human being to convey a message to us that, of course, in human form of life, there are four purusharth: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma means religion, our duty. When we do our duty, what happens? Artha comes, yes. For example, if we work, then what happens? We get paid, right? What essentially is happening? We are getting earth. And when we have earth, then what we can do? Kama. We can fulfill our desires. Kam means fulfilling one's desire, yeah? So, of course, These three activities every human being is doing primarily in their life, but Krishna describes that there is something superior to these three: dharma, artha, kam, and that is called moksha, salvation. And he is giving this knowledge in the battlefield. Why? Because that time death is imminent. It is very urgent to know what I should do so that I can attain the moksha. Therefore, and even in today's situation also, this is the case. We are never sure when we will die, right? Just 3 years ago, I heard in Turkey there was a very big earthquake. People were doing their normal activities. Someone was eating, someone was doing home office, someone was taking care of the children, someone was sleeping, someone was watching television. These are the activity which most of us every day do, right? And suddenly the earthquake came, and more than 500 or 600 people, 1,000 people died almost. Yeah? Or 6 months ago, I heard in India there was a very big air crash. Flight just took off, and after how many seconds? 30 or 50 seconds, something like that was there. The flight crashed. Yeah? And only one person survived. And more than 250 people died. Yeah? Some people were eating food, yeah, in their hostel, I heard. And the flight crashed on that. So death can come at any moment. All of us also have taken flight, right? There is no guarantee that flight will reach. It's not 100% guaranteed always. Many flight crashes have happened, right? The point is death is going to come to all of us also at any time. However, whoever we may be student, we may be children, we may be some big working political professional, or whatever we may be. Death is going to come to all of us. And when it comes, it doesn't knock the door that come, I have come to take you up. It doesn't ask you. It just takes you away. Yeah? So death is like that. And when one dies, it's never has happened that the other part of the world has stopped working. For example, so many people die. How many of us stop work for them? So even when we will die, the world will not become vacant. It will continue, right? So then someone may ask, if this is the situation, and I am not the richest person in the world, I am not the best person in the world, then what I should do? What is my duty? What I am supposed to do? So this is what Krishna is describing. Am I useless? No, Krishna is describing you are in human form of life. A very good opportunity is there, and that is escape from this cycle of birth and death, which is called moksha. And here he is describing a very interesting aspect, that according to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing away from this world. All of us are going to pass away, right? No one can say, I will stay forever. Yeah. So what are these two ways? One is in light and one is in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns. Yeah. So someone may say, now the problem is I don't know when I am going to die. So how I will ascertain that if I pass away in light or I will pass away in darkness? Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes that happens, like a person is kept on ventilator, and suddenly as soon as they remove the ventilator, the person dies. So person doesn't have a choice when to leave the body. So what is the remedy? What is the solution? And on bigger aspect, if you are a little bit scientific, you may ask, why this problem is there to me? What mistake I did? What went wrong that I am trapped into this problem? So the solution to this is, Krishna has told, first we have to understand who we are. Who am I? Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder Acharya, he started preaching this Hare Krishna movement in Western countries. And one of his disciple, once Srila Prabhupada told about various kinds of gurus. And he approached to Srila Prabhupada and told that, Srila Prabhupada, I also have a guru. So Srila Prabhupada asked, who? So he said, my ex-girlfriend. So Srila Prabhupada said, how? So So he said, when she left me, I started asking myself, who am I? Why am I living? Why am I suffering? And therefore, I think she is my guru. So Srila Prabhupada said, your motivation appears good, but don't work upon it. She has left, it's okay now. You carry on with devotional service. So, who am I? If someone asks us, what will be our answer? When Hanumanji went to Lanka and destroyed this Ashok Vatika, that time Ravan, through his son, what was his name? Meghnad, yes, thank you, Indrajit. He captured him. And they brought Hanumanji in front of Ravan. And Ravan asked him, who are you? And what Hanuman answered? Yes, Dasoham Kaushalendrasya, Valmiki Ramayana described. I am the servant of the king of Kaushalya. Who is the king of Kaushalya? Ram. I am servant of Ram. So what does it mean to be servant of Ram? So Kṛṣṇa describes apareyam itastva manyam prakritim vidyame param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. Apart from the dead matter which we find in this world, there is a superior energy of mind which is called jiva bhuta mahabaho, jiv, something living. For example, death. If we analyze closely death from a scientific perspective, just 2 minutes before death and 2 minutes after death, if we compare the chemical composition of the body, we'll find it is exactly the same. Then what is the difference? The jiv, the soul who is within the body has passed on. Yeah? And what is the location of the jiv in our body? Which is the organ which stops and the doctor says a person is dead? Heart, right? Doctor will be always observing. Kṛṣṇa says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham ridhisanni vishnu matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. The jiv and the param jiv, Atma and the Paramatma, they are sitting within the heart of the person. And according to the karma, whatever activities one has performed in previous lives, this life, all together they bring death to a person, and finally the soul moves from one body to another. When war of Kurukshetra finished, Pandavas won the battle, right? And after winning the battle, what they did? They went to the old king, for taking the kingdom. And that time Dhritarashtra was very much lamenting, and Kṛṣṇa also was there. So he asked Kṛṣṇa that why it happened that I had to see all my 100 sons dead in front of me. 99 sons and one son-in-law, all died in the battle. What was my karma? Why I faced this? So Kṛṣṇa describes 50 lifetimes ago, you were a hunter in forest and you broke 100 eggs of a crow in front of her. And she felt a lot of pain and she cursed you. And after 50 lifetimes, you got 100 children and they died in front of you as a reaction of that karma. So 100 eggs he broke. And because of that, you see what happened. 100 sons he had to see dead in front of him. Then Dhritarashtra asked, but why 50 lifetimes I had to spend? So Kṛṣṇa described to get 100 children is not an easy task. So you were preparing all these 50 lifetimes in between to get those 100 sons so that you can repay for that karmic reaction. So law of karma is very subtle and it works without fail. Not in this lifetime, then eventually in the next lifetimes. It will not stop. Then someone may ask, okay, you are saying such big things, but the soul moving from one body to another, who has seen that? I have never seen. Can you show me? Yes, we can show you. You want to see how the soul moves from one body to another? Everyone wants to see? Very easy. But one small homework we need to do. What is the homework? Collect your own photograph. So see your photograph when you were born. Many of us, we will have some picture, without hairs, a small black dot sometimes. or some special clothes, yeah, or the mother holding you when you were born. You can take that photograph of yours. Then compare it with the first day school photograph. All of us, we might have some photograph of our school, right? Take that second photograph. Then take a photograph when we went to university, when we became adolescent, when we attained 18-year age. Some photograph will be there with all of us, yeah. And now take today's photograph and compare all of them. Something will be same and something will be different. What is same thing? The person is same. Yeah. For example, my name is Uddhav. When I was born, my name was Uddhav. After 14 days, of course. And then when I went to school, same name. College, same name. Office, same name. Today, same name. But what is different? The body is different, right? The body's weight is different. The body's height is different. The body's texture is different. Science described in 7 years, all the cells except some neuron cells, complete body changes. Body is changing, but the person is same. Soul is moving from one body to another. This is how Srila Prabhupada has described how we can see practically. Soul moves from one body to another. And what is death? That means giving up an invalid body and taking altogether new body. Okay. So this taking up new body, suffering in that new body, it goes on based on our karma which we do in human form of life. Many times we see people, they commit very criminal activities and they escape using law, right? But it doesn't go in vain. The reaction comes in subsequent lives. It doesn't go in vain. Many times people, they commit homicide, they kill others, right? And then using law they come out and they think nothing will happen to me. But such a foolish person is not aware that death will come to him. And even if it doesn't come in a murderous way, in next life he will face a murder for himself. He will face a homicide for himself. Therefore, in previous ages, if any homicide was committed, the king immediately used to give death penalty to such a person. Why? Then he will not suffer in next life an unexpected murder, right? So this is a kind of compassion which the king used to show. So this is actually called science of soul, and Kṛṣṇa has described this science of soul very deeply in Bhagavad Gita, and this is the message of Bhagavad Gita. And now coming to the point, attaining moksha. How to attain moksha? So a very interesting chapter comes in Mahabharata and Srimad Bhagavatam of a person called Bhishma Pitama. Everyone knows Bhishma Pitama? Who was Bhishma Pitama? Yes, the son of Ganga. Yes, brilliant. He is a very special personality. He is the son of Ganga Devi. Yeah. And he was having a benediction. What was the benediction? Ichha Mrityu. Brilliant. He could desire death, time of death, when it will come. So he can desire whether to pass away in darkness or whether to pass away in light. He was having that much capacity. And when we read his conversation, so after the battle finishes, Yudhishthir is going into depression. And when in those time people used to go into depression, they don't used to take the tranquilizers or the medicines. They used to consult, what I should do so that I can get out of this. So many people died, my own family member died, and I am finding myself culprit, what to do. So that time the best doctor is Kṛṣṇa, and he takes him to Bhishma Pitama. And then Bhishma Pitama starts describing him all the principles. And then he eventually describe him about moksha also, how to attain moksha. And what is the solution for that? What he tells? What is the activity we do at the time of death that describes or that decides our next destination? This is the principle of moksha he describes. Our thoughts, yes. Whatever we remember at the time of death, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. And with this, it is described Bhishmitama concludes his conversation and he starts meditating on Krishna. Why? Because at that time only the sun moves in such a way that it comes into Capricorn. That is, the time of light has come. And that day is called Makar Sankranti, which we will be celebrating on 14th of January. Yeah. So that was the day when Bhishma Pitama left the body. Yeah, that was the time when he left the body. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean we also try to leave our body on Makar Sankranti. That means we follow the teachings which Bhishma Pitama has given to Yudhishthir. Okay. That means we follow the path of devotional service. Now someone may ask, okay, you are telling so many things, the four problems, and the problem why they appeared is because we are not the body but we are the soul. Then what is practical tip for me that I can attain moksha? And if you have some ange bote, some discount, please let me know. Right? So Krishna has described so many kinds of yogas in Bhagavad Gita, right? So why he has described different kinds of yogas? Because they are a solution for attaining moksha. And different age of human society has different method to attain moksha. There are 4 ages or time of human society. The first age is called Satyug. Yes, brilliant. In this age, the human beings could live up to 100,000 years. They were having so much bodily capacity that many of them could jump and go from this planet to another planet. So they were very much capable people. So for them, a very good, strong method was given, and that was Vanam Gatoyat Harimashrayata. Go to the forest, do the meditation, realize the Paramatma within your heart, and then you can attain moksha. So they used to go inside the forest and they used to do pranayam, by which they will be controlling their breath. They will be bringing the whole consciousness between their forehead and will be constantly meditating on the Paramatma sitting within their heart. And when the sun moves into light zone, into Capricorn, they will be leaving their body. And when a yogi does like this, he goes back to Vaikuntha planets, to Vishnu or Krishna. But if a yogi wants sense gratification, he wants to drink somras, if he wants to enjoy in heavenly kingdoms, in the various beautiful heavenly gardens, he want to see the musical show, dance performances which are going on there, then they will leave their body in the darkness and then they can go to the heavenly kingdoms. Yeah. So this is the solution which Krishna has described here. But the age passed on and the next age comes, which is called Treta Yuga. And in this age, human capacity considerably reduces. The human beings, they don't live for 100,000 years. They live maximum for 10,000 years. They cannot jump from one planet to other. They jump only from one continent to other. Yeah. We see in Ramayana, which incarnation of Vishnu comes in Treta Yuga? Ram, yes. And to support him, who comes? Hanuman. And he jumps from one continent to other, right? So in this age, the capacity considerably decreases and not everyone can live everything and go into forest and do meditation. It's not possible for them. So an easier method was given, which is called yajna. So in Treta Yuga, people started doing yajna to attain moksha or whatever desires they have. For example, Dasharath Maharaj desired sons. So he performed yajna. What was the yajna name? Putra Kameshti yajna. Yes. A yajna done to attain son. Similarly, we see when Ram defeats Ravan, he wants to conquer the world. He starts a second yajna. It is called Ashwamedha yajna. he releases the horse, and no one could catch it. Whoever catches it, they have to either surrender to Ram or they have to fight. Yeah. So yajna was the process, and yajna was not easy. Yajna required lot of investment. Very big place one has to reserve, and then so many brahmanas one has to invite, and then they will be pouring so much food, grains, ghee, milk products into that yajna. And not today's yajna, a small some pot they will keep and 2 banana, 2 apple. It was not like that. Thousands of tons of food grains were put, thousands of kilos of ghee was put. And then those who recite the mantras, they were not native Sanskrit speakers. For example, when we tell people to chant Sanskrit verses, most of them they couldn't do. They don't understand what is written in some cases, right? But in those time, exact perfect Sanskrit pronunciation people were having. They were very fluent in Sanskrit. They were called brahmanas. They used to perform it. One mistake and the full yajna collapse. That was the situation. So they also need a paycheck, right? They also, for example, when Dasharath Maharaj performed such a big yajna for attaining Ram, it is described he gave 10 million cows in charity. Now, one cow, how much it cost in Munich or in Bayern today? Some good milking cow, 3,000 euro. So 10 million cows, how much they will cost? And this was only cows. On top of that, he gave more than 5 tons of gold. How much gold 1 kilo cost today? Some 100,000 euro. Yeah. And not only that, he didn't stop there. On top of that, to the brahmanas who performed yajna, for each of them, he gave a palace in charity. How much one wohnung cost in Munich? How much one house cost in Munich? Maybe 2 million euro, good house. How much a palace will cost? And how much some 100, 200 palaces will cost? You can imagine. And on top of that, he gave many, many servants in charity. Some hundred, so thousands of servants he gave in charity. One employee, how much it cost? So how much he would have given in charity? Yeah? So that much capacity they were having. And then the next stage comes after Treta Yuga. And then the capacity decreases all the more. And the next stage is called Dwapar Yuga. Yes. So in this Dwapar Yuga, not everyone can do so much. Easier process was required. So God, being compassionate Father, says, okay, either you worship me in the form of my deity or you worship me directly. So Kṛṣṇa comes in which yuga? Dwapar Yuga. Either you worship Kṛṣṇa directly, how Bhishma Pitama is worshipping, or you worship him in deity form. For example, the Balaji temple, famous Indian temple, richest temple of India, it came up in Dwapar Yuga. So people or human society in Dwapar Yuga, they started constructing temples. Those who desired material pleasures, they worshipped demigods. Indra, Chandra, Varun, Brahma, Ganeshji, Shankarji. So all these demigods people started worshipping. Those who desire earth and calm. But those who desire freedom from cycle of birth and death, they worship Vishnu or Kṛṣṇa because he only can give. It is described in Ramayana that there were 3 brothers in Rakshas dynasty. The first was Ravan. Second is Kumbhakaran. And the third is Vibhishan. All of them, they go to Gurkarna to perform austerities. Ravan, when Brahmaji comes to him, he worships Brahma, right? And when Brahmaji comes to him, what does he ask? Make me immortal. I shouldn't die. And Brahmaji says, even I am not immortal. How I can give you that? So then Ravan asks that I should not be killed by this species of life. neither with this nor with that, and this and that. But he forgets two species: human beings and vanaras. So Rakshasas, they consider human being as daily bread, right? So he was thinking how a bread can kill me. How many of us think that a bread can kill me? It is my food. Like that he thought. And the Vanaras, they are good for some, nice show. They will be doing some comedy show for me. So he forgot these two names. And then we see how Lord Ram comes in form of a human being and he makes an army with Vanaras, and they attack Ravan. So he asked various boons, so many pleasures, material pleasures, but eventually everything was destroyed. Similarly, Kumbhakarna, when he was about to ask boon from Brahma, just before that, a summit happened in heavenly kingdoms. And they decided that if we give him also so much power, the demigods and everyone will have a lot of trouble. So we should do some trick with him. And therefore, they invoked the tongue twister goddess. Who is she? Saraswati. Yeah. And she twisted his tongue and he asked for Nidra. In Hare Krishna movement also, when we start chanting Hare Krishna, whom we pray to? Srimati Radharani, right? That please engage me in service of Krishna. But somehow or other, the second most famous goddess in ISKCON is Nidra Devi. Many times, as soon as the chanting starts, after 3-4 rounds, sometimes we hear snoring, devotees moving here, there. So Nidra Devi is a famous companion of all the yogis. So she accompanied the Kumbhakarna and he asked for Nidra. So Brahmaji gave him a boon that 6 months you will sleep and after that one day you will be awake. And if someone makes you awake in between, then that will be your last awakening. After that, you will go back to Yamraj. So he also got that boon. So he also wanted immortality, but something wrong only came to him. And then the third brother was there. He also did worship of Brahma. And who appeared to him? Brahma. And was what he asked from Brahma? Anyone knows? I want devotion to Ram. That's what he asked, Brahmaji. I want selfless devotion to Ram. And Brahma gave him a boon, you are already immortal. Those who wanted to ask for immortality to fulfill their desire, they got something different only. They did some mistakes. But one who asked for devotion to Ram, he not only got the opulence of Ravan, after Ravan who ruled, division only. On top of that, he got a boon to become Chiranjeev. There are 7 Chiranjeev according to Vedic literature. Ashwathama, Bali, Vyas, Hanuman, Vibhishan, Krupa, and Parshuram. These are the 7 personality who are Chiranjeev. And Vibhishan got that boon. Even today he is alive. And he will sooner or later appears to many people, it has been heard. So deity worship was the process which was given in Dwapar Yuga, right? And then the famous next age comes, which is called Kali Yuga. And who comes in Kali Yuga? Who appears in Kali Yuga? All of us. Kalki will appear at the end of Kali Yuga to start the Satyuga. So all of us have appeared in Kali Yuga, right? So if we go for meditation, let's say, I have seen many times people, they go for meditation 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, and after that their yogic mudra get changed, right? They were sitting, instead of that they start lying, finding some good bed sheet to cover them up with a pillow below them. Yeah. So more than 2-3 hours we cannot meditate, right? But in Satyug, people used to meditate for 60,000-70,000 years together. How many of us can stay awake for even 7 days and 7 nights? Even 1 week, impossible. After 2 days, people start facing some critical problem. They go to doctor if they don't get sleep, right? So Satyug, process is not possible. We cannot do so much meditation. Then Treta Yuga process, yajna. If we start doing yajna, the sprinkles start pouring water. Someone from outside will call police or fire where there is fire inside, right? We don't have so much money that we can do such a big yajnas, right? So that process also is not possible for us. Then temple worship, yes, we are doing. But if you compare the size of this temple and compare the size of temple of Dwapar Yuga, there is a big difference, right? Here, when we enter, the temple is finished. We can see the borders, right? But in Dwapar Yuga temple, 7 hills were given. Yeah. So all these processes are very difficult in this Kali Yuga. And therefore, a very easy process Krishna has given very mercifully to all of us, and that is chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. And when we repetitively chant this, what happens? When we repetitively chant something, for example, I remember when I was a young boy, for remembering mathematic tables, 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. How we remembered them even today? We chanted it continuously, right? Everyone remember? So similarly, of course, the holy name is spiritual. It has much more. I mean, there is no comparison between tables and chanting of the holy names. But a similar method has been given in this Kali Yuga to the human society of chanting of the holy names, so that when we chant it continuously, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, what happens? We keep remembering it. And at the time of death also, we remember them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. And when we chant or remember Krishna at the time of death, then what happens? We go to Krishna. This is what Bhishma Pitama told. Yeah. But if by mistake we are very much attached to a pet dog, and we remember at the time of death dog, then what we will become? Dog. If we remember male dog, then we become. And if you remember female dog, then similarly, many people are very much attached to their fish or some plant. Then what happens? At the time of death, also they remember fish, plant. Then what happens? They will be standing behind you like this. Or it depends on karma also. Yeah. So the process of devotional service in this age of Kali Yuga is chanting of the holy names. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada, feeling lot of compassion for the Western origin people, he established this Hare Krishna movement. And it was not very easy for Prabhupada to establish this Hare Krishna movement. It is described, Srila Prabhupada, when he started, he left India with Srimad Bhagavatam set and only 40 rupees. And how he went to United States, anyone knows? For example, how many of us came to Germany? How we came? Flight, yeah? Some Lufthansa or Etihad, Qatar Airways, or Turkish Airline, Oman Airways, yeah? Srila Prabhupada didn't took flight. He didn't took a passenger ship. He took a cargo ship. Cargo ship, he's got a small cabin. And it is described the journey took 30, not hours, days. And in between, he got 2 times heart attack without any medical emergency care. And why he did? So that he can give this chanting of the holy name to others. One of the very senior Prabhupada disciple, he was American, he describes that he was in American army when he was young. And that time in 1960s, there was a very big war. It was called Vietnam War. And all the American young people, they were sent to this war. So this person also went. And when they went to Vietnam, the Vietnam people did a unprecedented attack on them. And unfortunately, these 2 soldiers, so this person who is Prabhupada disciple, he didn't got hit somehow, but his another fellow soldier got hit and he thought he is dead. So now still the bullets were coming. So he thought how to save myself. So he took that person and he thought anyway this person is dead. So I will keep him on my back so that he will protect my back and then I will run. So I will have a guard also behind me and I will run. And by that somehow no bullet will hit me. And luckily that plan worked and he could reach to a safe destination. And when he came there, other fellow American soldiers also came. And this person told, I tried to save. And suddenly the paramedic team came and they saw, yeah. And they took that person who got hit by a bullet and they realized he was not dead. He was still alive. And then they thought this person was so brave that without caring for his life, he brought him here. And they gave American Gallantry Award to him for that. So he saved other also, he saved himself also, and he never told his story outside the Hare Krishna movement. So this is the method how we attract Krishna's attention towards us, by saving others, by giving them knowledge how to get out of the cycle of birth and death. And this is why Srila Prabhupada went to Western countries to preach to the normal society who are completely engaged into materialistic activities the way to attain moksha. And that's why Srila Prabhupada has established this ISKCON movement. And it was very difficult for Prabhupada. He went there at the age of 69, it is described, in a very cold country. Mukund Maharaj described, who was Prabhupada's very early disciple, that once he and Prabhupada, they were traveling in car. And Prabhupada was having nothing to eat, only one apple. And Prabhupada thought, these American people, they will be aware that if a sadhu eats something and if he gives them his half eaten, then it is a mercy. So he ate apple half and he gave it to Mukund Maharaj. So Mukund Maharaj thought, okay, he's sharing the apple. So he took the apple, he took a bite and he gave back to Prabhupada. And over a period of wrong duration, he came to know this is not the etiquette. Similarly, 6 years ago or 7 years ago in Munich, we were having temple in Giesing. So we had there one Prabhupada disciple, Prabhu. So he describes that in those times when he was a young boy, he was in Amsterdam. He was taking care of Amsterdam temple. And Prabhupada told in one of his lecture that if we have Tulsi in our temple and grow Tulsi very nicely, then we can understand our bhakti is going good. So he went to some Netherlands shop and there he got some seeds of Indian plant. And he thought that this is Tulsi seed. And he put them into the soil and the plant started growing very fastly. And it became quite big. And he was worshipping it, thinking it to be Tulsi. After 2 years, the plant became almost like a tree. And one Indian gentleman happened to visit temple in Amsterdam and Prabhu showed him that Srila Prabhupada told me that if I worship Tulsi and if it grows nicely, then my bhakti is good. What do you think? So he said, this is not Tulsi, this is bamboo plant. You are worshipping something completely wrong. So like these disciples, he was cultivating. Once it is described, Srila Prabhupada went to Melbourne and he instructed their devotees that you should have Gaur Nitai and Jagannath Baldev Subhadra in the altar. So they said, yes, Prabhupada, we have installed both of them. So Prabhupada went inside the temple, took the darshan of the deities. He saw Gaur Nitai. He paid obeisances. And when he got up, they revolved the altar. And instead of Gaur Nitai, there was Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. So they were having a movable altar. One side was Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, second side was Gaur Nitai. So when he paid obeisances, it was Gaur Nitai. When he got up, it was Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. So he said, deities, they should have a stable platform. They cannot be on a movable platform. So the disciples, they were even not aware of this. And Srila Prabhupada was trying to preach to them. So with a great difficulty, lot of endeavor, in a very old age, with a completely different language, Srila Prabhupada preached. Once he was giving the lecture about Sanatan Goswami, about Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he was describing to all the disciples the various pastimes from Chaitanya Charitamrita. He told about Sanatan Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, Gadadhar Pandit. He described them about Nawab Hussain Shah and everything. And he asked his disciple before getting up from lecture, did you understood everything? He said, yes, Prabhupada, I understood everything. What did you understand? Prabhupada, and then he told some 2-3 common philosophical points, and after that, but Prabhupada, I was having one question. So Prabhupada asked, what is the question? So he was asking, who was Nawab Hussain Shah and what he communicated to the Sanatan Goswami? Who was Sanatan Goswami and what he communicated to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what he communicated to Nityanand Prabhu? So they were not aware of the basic principles also. They were not aware who is who. That was the situation. And Srila Prabhupada was trying to preach to them, and Prabhupada was also such a brilliant preacher. He know how to convert a person from non-devotee background into a devotee. So it is described once Srila Prabhupada was having 2 of his disciples next to him. And one of the disciple, he saw a beautiful woman going when Srila Prabhupada was delivering lecture. So he was watching like this, and Srila Prabhupada was sitting here. And when that woman passed by, he eventually landed looking towards Prabhupada. And Prabhupada also was watching toward him. And then he thought, I got caught. So then Srila Prabhupada said, what you were watching? Did you like it? And then this disciple don't know what to answer to Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada said to him, just imagine, if the creation is so beautiful, how beautiful the creator will be. And that disciple describes that line strike me so much that even after Srila Prabhupada has left this world 50 years after also, that, how to say, line gives him a conviction that he has to practice bhakti. One disciple, Hayagriva Prabhu, describes that Srila Prabhupada wanted to open a temple in United States somewhere, and he wanted Hayagriva Prabhu should become the president. He should become the leader of the temple. So Hayagriva Prabhu, he made all the various points how he is not a fit president, because being president is not easy. You know, everyone comes to complain. All things you only need to do. No one is there, right? So he made all the points ready. And there was a discussion meeting between Prabhupada and him. And then he went to Prabhupada. And Hayagriva Prabhu went, paid obeisances, and Srila Prabhupada looked into his eyes and says, Hayagriva, you should take sannyas. And this was something unheard of. Never imagined sannyas. And then he started saying, Prabhupada, I just now got married, just 2 years ago I got married. How I can take sannyas? No worries, I am there. I will tell you all the principles. But Prabhupada, I have 1-year daughter. So Srila Prabhupada said, no worries, we will make a Gurukul for her. Then he gave tens of reasons how he is not fit to sannyas. And Srila Prabhupada gave all the counter arguments for all the logics which he was providing. And then he finally got defeated and said, Prabhupada, you tell me anything. I will do anything for you, but I will not take sannyas. And then Prabhupada said, you become the president. And he became the president. So Srila Prabhupada was aware how to make someone take up to Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So similarly, we see in Bhagavad Gita, Kṛṣṇa describes that we have the 4 problems, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, and happening them again and again is called cycle of birth and death. And they are forced upon us. We cannot choose them. Birth is forced upon us, death is forced upon us. Old age and disease, we never invite them, they come automatically. So why it happens? Because the soul is conditioned into this material body. And what is the solution? The solution is to remember Kṛṣṇa at the time of human form of life, so that we never come back again into this material world. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different than Kṛṣṇa, has given us this chanting of the holy names. Everyone chant with me one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And the most interesting thing is, you will find your bank balance is still the same. In Satyuga, it was never the case. You have to give up everything and go into forest, right? In Treta Yuga, you have to give lot of charity to others. In Dwapar Yuga, you have to give lot of wealth for making of the temples. But in Kali Yuga, chanting is free. And in any state, anywhere, anytime, you can chant the holy name, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But there is one small price which we have to pay. And what is that price? Yes, brilliant. We have to keep the faith that this process will work. Yeah. Many times people argue that science say there is no God, right? And why I should believe on God. So which theory of the science say there is no God? Anyone knows? Darwin theory also never deny existence of God. Anyone can say God made this system, Darwin system, by which evolution can happen and people can take birth in this world, right? So it is a creation of God. So science, which theory of science denies existence of God? Any idea? Yes, brilliant. The Big Bang theory. Any religion, scriptures, if you see, for example, Christianity also has a scripture called Bible. If you see, there is described how God wanted to create, and then there was the creation, right? Similarly, in Quran also we see it is described Allah is the creator of the creation, right? Even if we read Sanatan Dharma, we find more details that the creation started from Vishnu, and from the navel of Vishnu a lotus comes, and from this lotus the first living entity in a universe is born, and that is Brahma. And then Brahma, who is the secondary father of everyone, Shishi Gaur Nitai ki, he creates all kinds of living entities, starting from plants, microorganisms, trees, beasts, animals, fishes, demigods, gods, and human beings. Everyone he creates, right? But science says everything happened with a blast, big bang, and automatically everything came. There was something of infinite temperature, infinite pressure, infinite measurements, and that busted with infinite force, and suddenly something came out. So now it's up to us whether we believe, we keep a faith, because Big Bang theory also never have any proof. No one has ever seen this happening, right? And on top of that, there are various drawbacks which are there in this theory. For example, when a mathematical model of Big Bang theory was postulated on some supercomputers, it is described then, according to Big Bang theory, the conservation of momentum should take place. And because of this, the ideal structure of universe should be spherical because of conservation of momentum. But what is the shape of our universe? Oval. That means there is some external force coming, right? So from where it is coming, no one is able to describe. Similarly, there should be existence of magnetic monopoles in this world, it is described. if something just blasted and everything came out. But in our universe, we never find magnetic monopole. We always find magnetic dipole, south pole, north pole, right? So this theory also essentially, if we see, we are keeping a faith. And other all theories of science which are there, none of them how to say deny the existence of God, because always we can say God made things happen like this, right? So this is the only theory, and we are also anyway keeping faith in it. So for attaining moksha, very important thing is we should have a faith that this chanting of the holy name is Krishna himself, and if we chant at the time of death, it will give him remembrance, and this is the only solution for getting rid of cycle of birth and death at the moment. So this faith is there, and faith is reasonable. In so many things, we are keeping faith, right? For example, when we travel in public transport, in bus, trains, how many of us have really gone to the driver and asked for a fair shine? Show me that you have a driving license. No, right? What we have done? We have kept a faith. Even the bank, the money which we keep, how many of us really have seen they keep that money? No, right? We just keep a faith, that the number which is printed in my account, that is true. Yeah. Even just few days ago, during New Year, there was a very big theft issue in Germany, in Gelsenkirchen. Everyone knows or not? And so much money was stolen away, right? So still we are keeping faith, yeah, that it will be safe, right? Or how many of us have really verified that this person is my mother and this person is my father? For example, how many of us have done the DNA extraction of our own and our parents to understand that this person is my biological father or mother? I have not done. I just keep faith. I don't know. Is there anyone who has done? So all of us are keeping faith, right? So when we keep faith, some good result come. So therefore, Krishna also has given this process that by chanting of the Hare Krishna, freedom from cycle of birth and death will come. He has explained how it will happen, why it will happen in Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita is relevant even 5,000 years also to us today, and it gives a very important solution of getting rid of a very big misery which is coming in front of us. Otherwise, if we don't do devotional service, don't perfect the human form of life, then what will happen? At the time of death, what happens? Death comes, right? And who is the demigod or the controller of death? Yes, brilliant. So at the time of death, his agents come, right? Who are the agents? Yamdut. And then they take us to Pitrulok, right? How much time it takes to travel from Earth to Pitrulok? 14 days, yeah. That's why we see after a person dies, 14-day continuously a shraddha has to be performed. Why? So that what sacrifice which we perform on his memory, that will reach to him when he is traveling between Earth and Pitrulok, right? And when he reaches to Pitrulok, what happens? He goes in front of Yamraj. And Yamraj call his agent. Who is he? Chitragupta. Yeah. All of you remember your past lives very nicely. Really, you have a deep experience. So Chitragupta comes and then he tells this person has eaten this many, unborn hens, which is called eggs. So that much lifetime he should suffer in this way or that way. Or this person has caused trouble to this person. So that much trouble he should get in the next life. Yeah. And all this is done with interest. It doesn't come without interest. But before going through all this trouble, there are very special planets where one is thrown. And they are called, what are the planets where punishment is given? Yes, yes, good, good. All of us have past memories, yeah, previous lives. Joking, just joking. So we have been thrown there. So many troubles have come, and eventually, after that, finally, if someone is very lucky, then he gets human form of life. Human form of life is very rare. It is described out of 8.4 million species of life. After that many trials, one get a human form of life. And only in this human form of life, one can aspire for attaining moksha or freedom from cycle of birth and death. Ahar nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanya etat pashubir nrananam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubir nrananam. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. These are the four core activities which are common between human beings and animals. For example, all of us eat daily, right? For sustaining our body. The same animals also do. If you observe animals, they will be also eating. Sleeping. How many of us never sleep? All of us sleep, right? As soon as night comes, we try to find a corner, bed sheet near to heater. Nowadays it's very cold, and sleep comfortably, right? So sleeping is common, and if you observe the animals, birds, everyone sleep. Yeah. Defending. We try to defend ourselves. How? We go for job. We give our talent there, whatever kind of talent we have. We try to earn a salary, and with this, we create a system by which we defend ourselves from ice, from cold weather, hot weather, from we make a private space for us so that we can survive easily. This is defense. Even animals also do. You know, many times in India, especially, there are stray dogs. You can observe this. And as soon as a new stray dog come into their territories, then what happens? Woof, woof, woof. Yeah, it starts automatically, right? And they try to defend their territory, their female companion or male companion, whatever it is, and they try to defend themselves. Similarly, many times we see a snake comes into the nest of some bird to catch the eggs, and then the parent birds they come and they start attacking on the snake, right? So this is common between human beings and the animals. Defense, even copulation or mating also is common. The animals they mate so that their offsprings can come, and even human beings they mate so that their offsprings can come. And all of us are finally a product of sexual reproduction only, right? None of us can say I don't have mother, I don't have father. We came by that process only. If you don't trust me, you can ask your own parents. If they don't accept, then don't come to me. I'm just joking. We are mammals, and mammals, the copulation is a requirement for producing the offsprings, right? So, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, they are common between human beings and animals. But dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubir nrananam. There is one special activity, a superior activity which human beings can do and animals cannot do, is dharma, to attain moksha. If you see in this temple hall, which species of life is sitting finally? Human beings only, right? You will never find that dog is coming regularly for the Sunday feast program to hear lecture or to sing arti or to chant the holy names. It will never happen. Sometimes flies come because there is some waste. They may get attracted to that, but otherwise only human beings will come here. Plants are there to decorate. They are not here for devotional service. So only in human form of life, this rare opportunity has been given that we can hear Krishna Katha and take inspiration and chant the holy names so that at the time of death we make a favorable ground to remember Krishna and thereby go back to our original home where no more birth, old age, disease, death, and other kind of miseries trouble us. There is no war going on in spiritual world. There is no bills which we have to pay. There is no crime which is happening there. It is the safest place. Anywhere, everywhere, you can do according to your desires what you like. But the motivation for doing any activity in spiritual world is service to Krishna. That's why Hanuman also replied to Ravan. What he replies? Dasoham Kaushalendrasya. I am the servant of Ram. He was doing whatever he desired. Hanumanji, if we see, he was jumping from one continent to another. Right? He lifted a mountain. Why? What was the motivation? To serve Ram. And that's how the spiritual world is. We can do whatever we like, how we like, but the motivation will be to serve Ram. So I will conclude here. I'm sorry I bored you so much. But thank you very much for tolerating me. And if you have some question, feedbacks so that I can improve, I can learn Bhagavad Gita better, we can stay for 2 minutes. Otherwise, I think I am over time. Hare Krishna. Any question, comment? Okay, if no question, no comment, then thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Excellent lecture.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you. This is glories to Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.